Hey, it's Mike here. It's been a while since I've done a solo episode. It's been very busy the last couple of months, and I just thought I'd like to pop in here and just say hello, give you an update on all the things that have been going on, things that I've been up to. I've been a little bit under the weather. You might be able to tell by my voice. I've been sick, and that often happens when I have these long stretches on the road. I get back, and my body just kind of gives out and says, "All right, we're in timeout." So, despite all that, it's been so long since I feel like I've been able to jump in, do a podcast, do a solo YouTube video here and share a little bit what's been going on. The last several months have been really, really insanely busy. My fault, right? Which oftentimes it is for those of us who run our own businesses, who do our own things. Even if you're in a regular career, you kind of take on more work, you say yes to things. And truthfully, this year has been kind of a really hard year. Um, when I've had the time to kind of reflect on why, and what's sort of been going on, there's definitely a lot to unpack there, which I may be able to do in, future updates or whatnot. But for the purposes of today, one of the things I've been chewing on a lot is how I've gotten to that point where I've just been so over busy. I feel like the last 2 years, I was really good about managing my energy and my time. And I'm some people have shiny object in syndrome. I have like shiny yes syndrome. I see opportunities everywhere and I often say yes to them. And it gets me kind of into situations sometimes where bite off more than I can chew. There is a saying, I don't remember where I heard it, but it's always resonated with me, and it's honestly consistently being coming back to me these days, which is this: don't let your mouth overload your back. Don't let your mouth overload your back. If you say yes to a ton of stuff, you end up carrying a lot of responsibilities, which can result in money and more opportunities down the line. But if you start saying yes to so many things that you just can't handle it, um, it's not a great situation to be in, right? So, um, just one thing I've been chewing on lately has been that, right? Don't let your mouth overload your back. Start saying no a lot more than you say yes. I'm reminded of Warren Buffett, the great investor, and he's often attributed as saying no to so many different things, right? So many, you can only imagine the kind of opportunities that come to this guy's way as a result of who he is and what he has to invest and his expertise and stature and all that. And he's saying no to most everything. Right now, I'm no Warren Buffett, but I think the principle is there where you and I can kind of glean from that. Um, I've Part of the reason I've been busy more recently has been a ton of travel. I've been traveling all for what feels like 2, 3 months straight. Had a couple of engagements in North Carolina, South Carolina. Then went out to LA, went to back to Charleston, South Carolina, held my mastermind meetup there. This was in September. Then this past month in October, I was on the road for 3 different engagements, right? All kind of back to back: Detroit, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Arizona. If you've been following me on YouTube here and there, I've been sharing a couple videos from those trips. And if you've been just listening on the podcast last couple of episodes, you'll see a link in those episodes to the YouTube videos where we shot a lot of content kind of on the road, and that's been a lot of fun. And it's been interesting to kind of wade into the waters of YouTube. I've been doing that a lot more this year. I was very committed to making this work. I got serious about it probably back in April. And back then I had 1,000 followers on my YouTube channel. And that was just an accumulation of posting random videos over the last 5 or 6 years. And in the last couple of months, I've grown by over 300 new subscribers on YouTube. So that is, let's just do the math, more than a 30% increase. And I just think about, gosh, I wish I got more intentional about this much earlier in my career. I'm kind of kicking myself about that. I still remember about 6 years ago, I was in Puerto Rico at a mastermind that was hosted by my buddy Mark Wade and Pat Flynn. He was a, very well-known online creator, said to me back then, "Hey man, you should get on YouTube. Like, doesn't matter, just get on it and get serious and like, do it consistently." And I was like, "Oh, I'm too busy. I got too much stuff going on. It just seems like so much of a tech headache having to learn all that stuff." And I just checked out Pat's channel recently. He's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. His videos are doing millions of views, and he's probably just raking in the money off that AdSense, right? And all that to say, like, it's like that old proverb, right? Best time to plant an oak tree was, I don't know, 10 years ago. The second best time is now. So I've been consistent on it. And I have these goals because there are certain things that you can do with YouTube where you can monetize a channel because they run ads on your account. And I'm not expecting to have that as a huge income stream moving forward. It'd be nice, right? I'll do what I know how to do and what I can. But I've been checking that app on my phone, the YouTube app, almost every day since I got serious about YouTube. And it's actually giving me really good mile markers to move forward. Like I'm looking at the metrics, right? And that's one thing I've definitely gotten better at as well across all channels, across everything else that I'm doing. I'm trying to really get more focused on looking at the numbers. I used to be a not look at the numbers guy. I didn't like that at all. And there are a lot of stories around that because most of the time I looked at numbers because it had to do with money. And that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But I generally didn't like numbers. I didn't like looking at numbers. I didn't like reading the story behind the numbers. Even when the numbers were good, I was like, oh, whatever, just things just happen. I got lucky or whatever. And with this journey on YouTube, it has forced me in a lot of good ways to step outside of my comfort zone. Even setting up this rig and this workspace in my house, in my apartment, learning these new apps and tools have been really, really important. And then also going on YouTube and learning, watching other creators and what they do and what makes their videos so engaging has actually been a lot of fun. It has stretched me in many ways as a creator. While I've been on the road, I decided to rent out studios where I could when I had open days and start conducting interviews there. And I'll have more about that in a couple of episodes to come, what I plan to do with those. And as I continue to grow those and record them, it's been a lot of fun. But YouTube has been a very, very interesting and actually very expansive journey for me. And I use that word a lot, especially with my friends. Like I'm always open to more expansive opportunities, expansive experiences. I want to be around expansive people that just stretch my understanding of what's possible or enrich my life in some way. And I'm always looking for that. And I think after 10 or 12 years of blogging and writing and copywriting, doing a lot of writing for clients and in the marketing industry, and then writing a book, and then playing around with social media and doing this podcast, I felt like while I still loved creating, I needed some sort of a new outlet. And YouTube has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to just kind of see myself doing it, see the videos that my team and I are working on, my, ragtag team, if you will. I do not have a system down for this totally yet. I'll just be honest with you. And even in that, to see the channel grow a little bit and to see the response that people have had and to see the kind of engagement that comes. What I'd say about this, I don't want to ever call anything a mistake, but one of the learning experiences that I had in all this, I tried to double dip back in the spring and the summer between YouTube and my podcast. And I just figured I would create a lot of solo episodes like this and just rip the audio and turn it into a podcast episode. Well, in some instances that can work. And in other instances, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work because I just published a video on YouTube not too long ago, which was a behind the scenes look at a speaking engagement that I was at. And that won't do any good on a podcast because you can't see the video, right? It doesn't have the same, it's not the same experience because I'm not saying the same kinds of things that I would if someone is listening only on audio. right? So, um, there's another saying that you rise and fall based on the level of your systems. And man, that is so true. That is so true. I didn't have a system for YouTube. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what kind of channel I wanted to create and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't have the editors. I didn't have the posters. The biggest headache in the world, my God, with these thumbnails. What a pain, right? It was like totally different. Because if you follow me for a while, you know that I have a marketing background, I have a copywriting background. So when I publish a blog post or a podcast episode, it was really easy. You just write a good headline for the episode and it works. Well, on YouTube, you have to differentiate between what the title of your YouTube video is and what the thumbnail says. And those two work collectively together on YouTube, which is very different because then the image often matters. So I have not cracked that code. There are people who get paid thousands of dollars a month for just one thumbnail for some of the big YouTube creators. And from what I've heard, YouTube is going to allow split testing, A/B testing on thumbnails moving forward. So great. Just another marketing thing to have to do, right? But all that said, it's been an expansive experience. I have not regretted it. I've regretted not posting consistently on my podcast here and on YouTube. So please forgive me. And then I went through a stretch where I was just posting videos of friends, colleagues of mine who had spoken at some of my events. And that was really cool because I got to platform them and they got to kind of see themselves and on the channel. And I just got more people to hear about who they are, which was great. I always love doing that. Right. But as far as me being intentional about YouTube and doing the best I can, it's like, you rise and fall to the levels of your systems. That said, there are 3 S's that I tend to invest in when it comes to my business. Number 1, skills. Number 2, systems. And number 3, smaller rooms. Skills speak for themselves. These are things that I need to learn and need to improve as a business owner, as a business leader. In my craft, it may be in coaching or speaking or in copywriting or marketing, right? But then in terms of an entrepreneur, I need to learn more management. I need to learn more systems. I need to learn how to work with people, hire people, find the right people, right? Make those hard decisions as a business owner. Number 2, when it comes to systems, I'm looking to invest in things, apps, processes, or people that will allow the business to run and grow with less and less of my involvement over time. So I'm looking to reduce the number of anomalies that I create and looking to increase the number of systems that work hand in hand with one another over time so that the business can grow. Where a lot of people get into trouble is they build systems around anomalies. Now, one of the big things that I've done this year is to formally start a marketing agency in the health, wellness, and beauty industries. Right? And there's some reasons for this. And if you're interested in this, I'll be creating more content around this later in the months to come. And if you just want to follow the journey as I build a business from the ground up with my partner, Connie, you can follow along there as well. Right? But when you are a service provider business, there's this tension that often is there between what you want to do, the service that you want to provide it for and who you want to provide it for, and cash flow. So a lot of times we need to say yes to things we normally wouldn't because it would just be good for the cash flow, right? We've all done that at some point. And yet when you're trying to grow the other side of things and scale the business, you need systems, right? And if you keep saying yes to anomalies and you build systems around anomalies, you actually just have a Frankensteinian monster, right? So I'm always looking to invest in things that are going to systemize the business moving forward. Processes, SOPs, people who can do this kind of thing. Really, really important, right? All right. When it comes to smaller rooms, what I mean by that is I'm looking to get into situations where I can connect with higher caliber people in smaller group settings. I will pay to reduce the amount of people that I have to sift through in order to get to the other, higher caliber people in the room, right? So that may mean I'm investing in a 1 or 2 day mastermind. Oftentimes those masterminds are high ticket, right? You're investing a good deal of money, or an ongoing mastermind group, even looking at sponsorships to present at events throughout the country that may give me stage time and access to the other speakers and panelists that are at the event. All of these can be really smart moves. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have the money to invest in them. My other businesses are doing okay. I can earmark a certain portion of that money throughout the year to invest in connecting. And then I've got to do my part to build the bridges, right? Now, over time, between skills, systems, and smaller rooms, even though I still want to continually grow, I don't want to be doing the hands-on work all the time. So I'm not investing in skills that are going to keep me doing the hands-on work. I'm going to be investing in the skills that are going to allow me to be a better leader, a better coach, a better salesperson or marketer or whatnot. But I don't want to invest in like learning how to edit YouTube videos. That would not be like really smart for me in given my age and my stage in life, right? So eventually the skills thing, the thing I invest in with skills, it's just going to kind of trail off, right? Yes, I'll always want to get better at those other things, but the hands-on work, I don't want to invest in learning that stuff, right? I want to invest in learning in the right things. The systems, I've got a great integrator, Chelsea Brinkley. Many of you already know her, and I'm investing in her and the people that she's bringing on board. Business partners that I have in other endeavors. We're always looking to systemize the business. And number 3, the smaller rooms is a huge deal. I don't think people pay enough attention to what is possible when you just pay to get into smaller rooms. It's why I run mastermind groups. It's why I hold them to pretty high standards, right? It's why I say no to people who don't meet those standards. It's my job as a facilitator to just set the table, right? And make sure that they're in the room with the right people. So all of that stuff matters. And if I could kind of wrap all of that up and put a bow on it, why am I doing all these things, right? I think I just want to solve bigger problems. That's something I've been chewing on. I just want to solve bigger problems. I want to learn how to solve bigger problems. I want to learn how to take a company from zero and really, really grow it. I want to learn how to take the things that I know as someone who's built a personal brand over the last 10, 12 years and really parlay that into other opportunities and to systemize it and to grow and to help, right? I also want to help the people that I work with and build businesses that are going to be good for them and for their livelihood, their families, right? Their well-being. All right. All that said, you can't tell because I've edited all the audio and video out of this, but I've recut this like 100 times because I totally still have a foggy brain from being sick. But I wanted to show up here this week and get this episode out to you. I feel like it's been a really, really long time since I've done a direct episode with you. Thanks for hanging with me on the ride here, for tuning into the past sessions here. But just wanted to pop in and say hi and wish you the best. Hope that you're doing well. And if you tuned in to this episode, let me know on Instagram, Mike Kim, TikTok, Mike Kim TV. TikTok's my new fun channel now. I'm playing around with that. And wouldn't you know, it's because I'm doing a lot of videos on YouTube. So I can cut them up, put them on TikTok. And just trying to systemize all this as I go. You're learning as I'm learning. I'm doing the best I can. I don't just hire people to do stuff and throw money at the problem. I really want to understand and learn it in a way that makes sense for me, because those channels are still me. They're still my personal brand. I still write my own emails to my list, right? So if you're on my email list and get those emails, that's 100% me, right? But just learning as we're growing and learning as we are going, right? And hopefully growing at the same time. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Be well. And until next time, live your message, love your work, leave your mark on the world, and I'll talk to you soon.